Hi, I'm Paul and I am a drone pilot, and I'll be telling you a little bit about kind of what I do as a drone pilot. So I work for this company called FlyGuys, and you can sign up with them online just with your Part 107 commercial pilot's license and then with your driver's license. And since I have both of those, I just sign up online and then you wait for them to reach out to you with drone jobs in your area, and they're all across America. The job I'm currently working on for them is a recurring job where it's for a construction company, and it's to survey the progress over the course of 12 weeks. So I go there once every 2 weeks and I do the automated mission that they've planned for me, and then I give them the information, and then the construction company can see how the progress is going with their construction job. So I'll be taking you kind of on that journey today. So the first step is before you fly, what you have to do before you go out to the job site. And I'll be showing you kind of how to do that today. So, the first thing that you want to look at is the airspace. I use this application or this website called Aloft, and you can sign up with them for free, and then they kind of help drone pilots get authorization and prepare before they go out to their job site. So, the first thing you want to look at is airspace. And if I zoom out here, this is my job location right there where the marker is. If I zoom out, it shows you the airspace in our city. So this is John Glenn Airport. This is Class D airspace. This is Class C airspace. And as you see, where we're flying is clear. So it's in Class G airspace, which means that we can fly there with no issues. So, seeing that that's clear, it says there's no advisories in the area, so it's safe to fly. So check, airspace is good. The next thing we have to look for is weather. So, what's nice about Aloft is they include weather too in their application. So you just click weather, and then you can see that the wind speeds are only 1 mile per hour, which is perfect, super low. Most drones can go up to maybe almost 28 miles per hour of wind. But you have to look at the specs of your drone before you decide that, and then you can look at the precipitation, the cloud cover. As we see, it's sunny, and you can go to other websites that have more detail, like the FAA weather website, and then for airspace you can go to SkyVector you can use before you fly. There's all kinds of different resources, but Aloft is just one of them that makes it quite simple, and I've been using them recently. Okay, sweet. So now that the airspace and the weather is looking good for today, let's look at the specific job requirements that I have for today. So FlyGuys uses this application called Drone Deploy, which we'll click on here, and I have selected the job that I am in charge of, which is the Riley Construction Company, and then there's all these different automated flight plans that they have for me to do today. So the first one is the map. And as you see, it is kind of a grid shape, and at the end of this, it's going to give a 3D model of the construction site using photogrammetry, which will allow the construction company to analyze, look at, and see the progress of the construction. The second thing is a photos plan, which just takes 8 different photos around the property to give a good view of it. And then the last one is a video plan, which just circles the construction site and takes video of it. So it is a total, this is 5 minutes as you can see, and then the photo plan is almost 3 minutes. The map plan is 15 minutes. So in total that's going to be over 20 minutes of flight, and since I only have 3 batteries to use, that means that we're going to have to use at least 2 batteries, because each battery, depending on the wind, is going to be around 16 minutes of flight time. So good thing we have enough batteries. We got to make sure they're charged before we head out. The last thing that we have to look out for before we go to the job site is equipment, making sure that we have everything we need so that we don't forget anything and have to drive back home, pick it up, and then go back to the job site, which just wastes time and in the end wastes money. So let's do that right now. So this is my equipment. I have the DJI Mavic Air 2S, which is a great drone just for simple surveying missions or photography or videography. So the first thing that you want to check is your battery life. I have 3 batteries, and as we can see, they're all full battery, which is great. And you do not want to have to recharge your batteries once you get out to the job site. The second thing is the battery health of the remote that I have, which it's at 3, which should be enough. And then the next thing you want to check is your SD card. Make sure that your SD card has enough storage before going out, because you don't want to have to pull out your computer, plug in your SD card, take off the photos or videos from your last mission just to free up space. That just takes time, wastes money, and you just want to make sure that you have enough before you go out to your job site. This is my charger. You always want to bring your charger in case there's a malfunction and you need to recharge your battery. And then in addition, I also have a car charger port, which allows you to charge up your batteries in your car while you're doing your missions if need be. But for this mission, we're only going to need 2 batteries, so I don't think we'll need to do that. But it's always safe to bring it just in case. And then here's some of my lenses that come with the Fly More combo for my drone. So depending on how bright it is outside, I'll use a different strength of lens. So since it's a sunny day out, I'm using a 16 lens. And then I also have extra propellers in case there's any emergency or something goes wrong. So just in case, I gotta bring those. Never hurts to bring some extra propellers. The next thing that I always remember to bring is my high-vis vest so that people around can know that I am flying my drone, because most people, they don't know what you're doing when you're just standing there with a remote in your hand, but you don't want to be bothered by people. You want them to know where you are and that you are a professional doing work. So now that we've checked off our checklist of things that we need to do before we fly, I'm packed up and ready to go on the road. Now that I've arrived at my job site, I'm going to survey the area, make sure that there's no towers or structures or trees that are higher than the altitude we're going to be flying, which is 115 feet. So it shouldn't be an issue here, it looks like. And then I'm going to put on my high-vis vest, and then I'm going to wear some sunglasses, because that's always very helpful when flying a drone, because trying to look up when the sun is out while you're flying your drone, it can be harder to see without sunglasses. And then we look for a location that's good to fly, free of obstacles, free of tall trees, preferably not near where there's a lot of traffic, cars coming through. So I just chose a parking spot that is kind of farther off from where any traffic is, and it looks like a great spot that's close enough to the construction site. And then I do my pre-flight checklist where I'm checking my motors, checking the blades, checking the gimbal, making sure that everything's working properly. You want to make sure that your lens is clear, make sure there's no smudges, because if you come back at the end of your job and you realize there's been a smudge on your lens and that all hundreds of your photos have smudges on them, that's bad news. So make sure that your lens is clean before you take off too. Okay, now it looks like we're ready to take off and start the automated mission. And while it's flying, I just wait, make sure that there's no problems, make sure it's taking photos, watch my drone the whole time so that it's in visual line of sight. And then once that's done, it returns to home automatically. I pack it up, double check all the photos, and then I'm good to hit the road again. So now that we're back home, it's time to upload all the photos, send them to FlyGuys so that they can then send them to the construction company. So I upload it to their website, and then I upload it to Drone Deploy. And that's it. So these procedures are really important to follow, even though it's not my first time doing this. If I forget even one thing on my flight, then that just means I'll have to probably go back to the job site or go back home, and then that's just more time wasted and that's less money made. So it's really important to follow these procedures for me because I've definitely made my fair share of mistakes and I don't want to keep making those. Overall, I really enjoy my job. Doing what I do is just super fun. Flying drones, I get to make my own schedule, I get to travel, but there's also its fair share of challenges as well, because if there's not as many jobs in your area, then that means you can't work as much, so it's inconsistent. But it's a great summer job, part-time thing to do to gain flight hours, gain experience, and I'd highly recommend it, and it's worth a shot. So good luck to you, and thanks guys for watching what I do as a drone pilot.